Call to order the Montgomery County School Board's formal meeting. First item is all stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance and have a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item is the Point of Pride Awards. Dr. Lynn Vetter.
Yes, I'd like to welcome our Chief Communications Officer, Anthony Johnson, to do these very important awards tonight.
Absolutely. Good evening, Board. As you have heard the announcements over the past few weeks, and will hear more as additional embargoes are lifted, CMCSS has made significant improvements on state standardized test scores and other accountability measures. Tonight, we celebrate our schools that had the highest levels of performance in the state. CMCSS increased its number of reward schools from last year, with nearly a fifth of our schools earning this distinction for demonstrating high levels of performance and or growth across all indicators. I will call each school up individually. Unfortunately, due to space limitations, we could not fit the over 700 educators and support staff collectively from these schools in this room, so administrators will accept this point of pride on behalf of their entire school community. I want to emphasize that this accomplishment is truly a reflection of the excellent teaching and learning occurring in our schools, so tonight we honor the many dedicated professionals, students, and families at these schools. For the first school, Cumberland Heights Elementary School. And our next school, Middle College at Austin Peay State University. And our next school is Montgomery Central Elementary, and I know they have their really big school-wide Christmas program tonight, so I don't believe anybody was able to make it, but accepting on behalf, Jessica Harris, our elementary level director, will take their certificate, but let's give a round of applause to Montgomery Central Elementary. And next, not too far from Montgomery Central Elementary, if Montgomery Central High School could please come forward. Ms. Housen always has her extra special touch of having a banner with all the faculty and staff names, and I know that's a really special touch for that school. And next, a school that saw some of the most significant year-over-year growth we've seen, if Northeast Elementary could please come forward. All right, and the next school, Rossview High School. And last but certainly not least, just the last on the alphabet for these schools, if Sango Elementary School could please come forward. Congratulations again to all these schools for performing in the top of the state. This concludes this evening's Points of Pride. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Next item is our public conversation, or public participation. We have 3 signed up to speak tonight. The first one is Megan Wise. Ms. Wise, if you would turn on the microphone by pressing the right front silver button, it will come on. The timer will display on the screen to show you when it's active, and it will start, the light will start to flash when you have the last minute of your time. And you're allowed 5 minutes.
Good evening. I am here again tonight as both a parent and an advocate to address a critical issue. Your current policy governance model is not working. The board's lack of engagement in active policy making is harming our students, mostly those in special education. First, let's talk about the recent celebration of the district's increased graduation rates. By and large, for the most part, we should be excited about that. But while on the surface this is progress and does sound like everyone should be celebrated, the reality behind these numbers can tell a different story. Students who cannot read are being awarded standard high school diplomas. One family spent tens of thousands of dollars out of pocket just to ensure their child received the free and appropriate public education they're legally entitled to. Meanwhile, the district spent tens of thousands of dollars more to avoid accountability rather than provide compensatory services. In this instance, a school psychologist emailed administration stating, "This kid can't read." The district's solution? Have in-house counsel manage special education cases to save money. Special educators have even been instructed to copy legal counsel on any sticky situations they don't want parents to see, or worse, have to testify to in court. This scenario was only one of multiple due process cases settled last year. Second, let's address staffing. The Special Populations Department claims they are better staffed than other districts, but this is only because they removed long, unfilled positions from their reports. The reality is that students are still going without critical speech and language services, IEPs are incomplete or not implemented with fidelity, and interventions are improperly or inconsistently delivered. This is not the fault of our teachers who are trying their best. Dr. Lunavetter's solution? Policies designed to restrict advocates, people who help ensure students get what they need from participating in IEP meetings, and carefully worded directives that suppress information parents have a right to know. Third, retention and accountability. CMCSS hired 386 teachers last year and reported 67 separations, a statistic meant to highlight success. But numbers don't tell the whole story. Educators with repeated documented incidents of abusing or assaulting students are being returned to the classroom for the sake of numbers. Stacy Williams returned to work after only a short suspension. Leslie Hatley was given a mere letter of reprimand and placed back in a DPK classroom with nonverbal children despite at least 6 documented incidents of inappropriately grabbing, restraining, and lifting students by their wrists. Most recently this year, Tammy Parchman received a paid extended Thanksgiving break and was returned to her DPK classroom, the same one Leslie was assigned to last year before the district's investigation into her actions were even completed. This was after forcibly grabbing and restraining a nonverbal student with enough aggression to trigger investigations by DCS and law enforcement. The district has consistently shown they will retain educators who are not aligned with CMCSS culture, nor have the students' best interests in mind, all for the sake of numbers looking good. These incidents are not isolated. They are a pattern that makes it clear the district's priority is not the safety and success of all students, but the preservation of its image. While Dr. Luna Vetter and her team focus on statistics and recognition, they leave behind students who need their support the most. Vulnerable children are being harmed under this leadership, and your unwillingness to act makes you complicit. You were elected to advocate for and represent all students, not just the ones who can improve the district's reputation. You have a choice. Take back your authority and stand up for what is right and create meaningful change for all of your constituents, or you can continue to ignore the harm and allow it to persist on your watch. I ask, as both a parent and an advocate, that you do the right thing. I don't think that anybody sitting up there can relate to some of these parents, myself included, with a nonverbal child. These parents are sending their kids who cannot speak, who cannot tell you when something is wrong, into classrooms. Classrooms where we are being told it's okay for the teacher to jerk your kid around. We're gonna maybe suspend him for a day, maybe. We'll give them a letter of reprimand because they're just an educational assistant. You all have the ability to make the change, and parents have been here since the beginning of last year, begging for you to do so. And we are asking again, please consider working towards change for the better. Thank you.
Next speaker is Burke Ellis.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Burke Ellis. I am a pre-employment transition specialist with the State of Tennessee Department of Vocational Rehabilitation. Bottom line up front, I'm hoping that the topic I bring up tonight will have some meaningful impact and maybe some viable discussion between the board members and the administrators at the school. I want to talk to you about a viable service or valuable service that is being delayed to our special population students. The service is the Pre-Employment Transition Services Program, and the issue delaying services is the outside service provider packet. While I want nothing more to see in the secure setting for students in school, the packet requirement hinders the ability for a provider to provide services during the entire school year. Currently, we have two service providers, JobWise and Progressive Directions Incorporated, who provide pre-ETs to students in each high school in the CMCSS district. Each employee has been vetted. I mean, the employees that go into the school have been vetted through a background check and fingerprints at the local and state level, and to make sure there are no legal issues out there. Also, each student has submitted a signed permission form generated from the state of Tennessee, which gives the parental permission to provide services to students. What that means is when a parent or guardian or adult student decides that he or she would like to engage in the pre-employment transition program, they have to sign a permission form, and we get a copy of that with the IEP or 504 document. Each year, in order to provide services, the OSP packet is required to be completed, signed by the parent or guardian and school administration, i.e. the principal, prior to services being provided to the student. The packet is 3 pages in length. Now, we all know at the beginning of the school year that the parents are bombarded with paperwork for field trips, for permission here, permission that. Throw in the fact that a parent may have a student with a disability, another set of forms to sign, this packet normally gets thrown to the wayside and services are not rendered in a timely manner. I understand that the principal administration of the school need to know who is entering their school and who the intended students are to be instructed. So I propose a different course of action to accomplish this task while keeping the students safe. If you all been in the military, you understand. You have an issue, you propose a solution. At the beginning of the school year, a memorandum with an attached spreadsheet of active cases be sent to the school indicating who is providing the services, JobWise or PDI, because the schools do not change, and the students, based on the spreadsheet. That way the provider enters the school, they are known to the administration, and can be then directed to the respective schools to provide the valuable block of instruction. I thank you for your time.
Next speaker is Richie Patton. Yeah, press the button and the light will come on and you'll have 5 minutes to speak. The light will begin to flash when you have 1 minute left.
All right.
So I don't want to overshadow the issues that were brought up tonight by the other speakers. While I am going to be positive and celebratory, I want to make sure that the critical issues that were brought up and the needs that were brought up are remembered and not just the positivity. That being said, though, it is an honor to stand before you tonight and celebrate and express my deepest gratitude for the Clarksville-Montgomery County School System and our dedicated school board. Together, we have made this district a beacon of excellence in public education. Having just left Thanksgiving, I'd like to tell the board what I'm thankful about for CMCSS. CMCSS is not just a school district. It's a level 5 school district, or a level 5 school system, the highest designation awarded by the Department of Education in Tennessee. And this designation is for student growth. That recognition reflects the exceptional efforts of our educators, our administrators, and the staff to ensure that every student can reach their full potential. Our district boasts an impressive graduation rate of over 95%, which is a testament to the commitment to our student success that defines CMCSS. CMCSS serves over 40,000 students with almost 6,000 employees in nearly 50 schools, providing diverse and innovative opportunities which prepare students for the future. Initiatives like our K-12 virtual school, our early technical college program, and the award-winning Spanish immersion program at Barksdale Elementary exemplify a commitment to forward-thinking education. Our district's success is also evident by receiving multiple awards and designations such as the reward schools, which we saw tonight, which reflect excellence in academic performance. Furthermore, our schools have excelled in STEM education and fostered college and career readiness, with our high schools ranked among the top 25 nationally. This is no small feat and speaks to the volume of hard work done by our educators, our administrators, and the unwavering support of our community. Our achievements extend beyond academics, though. Through partnerships with organizations like Google and community-focused programs, CMCSS ensures that students are not only equipped with knowledge, but also empowered with the tools you need to lead meaningful lives. Initiatives like the Teacher Residency Program highlight the district's innovative approach to addressing challenges and ensuring that every student has success and quality education. However, as we celebrate these successes, it is imperative to safeguard the core values that make public education the cornerstone of our democratic society. So with Christmas coming up, I'd like to share with you a wish list for our schools that is simple, yet can have profound impacts on our children. Number 1, keep public schools public. Protecting access to free and quality education for all children must remain our priority. Number 2, investing in teachers and staff. Expand residency programs and provide resources for professional growth that will ensure educators feel valued and supported. Advance equity. Every student deserves the right and same opportunities to succeed regardless of their background or their circumstances. Encourage innovation. Programs like the STEM pathways and virtual learning options should continue to be expanded, allowing students to thrive in a dynamic world. And then strengthen community ties. Partnerships with local organizations and businesses and families will ensure that public education remains a collaborative effort. CMCSS embodies what public schools can achieve with dedicated professionals and a supportive community. When they unite for the betterment of our students, that is where we see success. Let us continue to champion this mission and work towards a future where every child can realize their potential. I hope that the school board members will make a New Year's resolution to honor the pro-public school resolution that the board passed in March of this year. When you're representing the school board in CMCSS, you must honor this resolution passed by the board and oppose efforts to steal money from our schools and to steal money from our kids. And that includes opposition to SB1 and HB1. Thank you to the school board, to the educators, to the parents, and especially to our students for making CMCSS an incredible place to learn and grow. Together, we can ensure a bright future for our public schools and the community as a whole. Thank you.
That concludes our public comments. Next item is approval of consent agenda. Have a motion from Mr. Garland to approve consent agenda. Have a second from Mr. Lanier. We'll now call for the vote. Please open the vote. Is everyone satisfied with their vote? Please close the vote. It passes 7-0. Next item, policy monitoring. Dr. Linnevetter.
Board, please find in your packet information on Executive Limitation 1, Global Executive Constraint. This executive limitation has one compliance expectation to ensure the Director of Schools shall not cause or allow any practice, activity, decision, or organizational condition which is either unlawful, unsafe, imprudent, or in violation of board policy or commonly accepted business and professional ethics. Appropriate measures have been taken to avoid violations of this policy during this reporting period. Specifically, independent financial audits verify that actions were appropriate, lawful, and prudent. Annual employee training is conducted in compliance with local, state, and federal laws and regulations, and a large list of these trainings can be found in your report. Chairman Griffey, this concludes the update for Executive Limitation 1.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept this report? Have a motion from Mrs. Berry. Have a second from Mr. Nelson. Any discussion? Please open the vote. Is everyone satisfied with your vote? Please close the vote. Passes 6 with 1 abstention. So it passed 6-1. Next item is teacher residency program. Dr. Luna Vetter.
Yes, I'd like to welcome up our teacher residency team. And so we have with us tonight Lisa Baker, Levita Radford, and Tracy Kuhn.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to be here tonight to share updates with our teacher residency pathways. Our mission is that all teacher residents will complete the residency program as fully prepared licensed teachers. Our vision is that all teacher residents will become highly effective teachers in a lifelong career. This matrix displays our 3 pathways that we offer teacher residents. In the second column, this represents our partnership with Nashville State Community College and Austin Peay State University. This pathway is open to candidates from our classified employees, our community members, and our high school seniors. This is a 3-year pathway. Candidates that are selected are employed by the district as teacher residents for 3 years in a title school where they are paired with a strong mentor teacher to receive on-the-job training to meet their apprenticeship requirements. At the same time, they are attending universities. For the first 2 years, they attend Nashville State Community College to receive their associate's degree, and then they transition to Austin Peay State University, in which they receive their bachelor degree. These individuals are getting on-the-job training during the day and taking their coursework after hours and through breaks. This is a 4-year degree that is completed in 3 years. It's a very rigorous accelerated program at no cost to the individuals. The individuals may get either licensure in elementary, K through 5 with a special ed intervention endorsement, or middle grades 6 through 8 science and math with a special ed intervention endorsement. Our 2 other pathways are a partnership with Lipscomb University. We have a middle school pathway and an elementary pathway. Candidates from our classified employees and community members who already have a bachelor degree from a regionally accredited university may apply for this program. Individuals seeking middle licensure are looking at 6th through 8th grade math and ELA, and the elementary candidates are working toward licensure in K through 5 grades and special ed intervention. These individuals spend 1 year as a teacher resident employed in a school with a strong mentor teacher for that on-the-job training while attending Lipscomb University, working toward their master's degree after hours and during breaks. After that first year, these individuals are placed in teaching positions on a job-embedded license while they complete their coursework and any remaining licensure requirements. All of these individuals attend a signing event when they sign an agreement to commit to a given number of years of teaching in our district after completing the program. We have multiple partners in this program. I referenced the universities, but we also work with Workforce Essentials and the Tennessee Grow Your Own program. This chart displays our 5 cohorts that we have active at this time. The top part of the chart refers to our three-year pathways. We have 98 residents in that program, and we have 2 Lipscomb cohorts, 20 total at this time for 118 overall active teacher residents. The overall diversity rate for the entire residency program is 26%. 176 former teacher residents are currently employed as Clarksville-Montgomery County School System teachers. 68% of these teachers currently serve elementary students, 32% of these teachers currently serve middle or high school students, and out of those 176 teachers, 16% are special education teachers. Once they become teachers, we want to know that they are effective in the classroom. And one of the ways we can measure this is with the Tennessee Team Evaluation Framework level of overall effectiveness. This is a score that combines observation scores in which the administrators observe the teachers practicing in the classroom and test scores such as TCAP. We have 8 completed cohorts that have had at least 1 year of teaching. You see our 3-year pathways and 5 Lipscomb pathways. Some of them have up to 2 to 3 years of teaching. In the third column, you can see that. So with the level of effectiveness score, an average of 3 or higher is considered at expectations. So if you look at the column on the right, we're very pleased overall with these results. We would like to see our middle school scores increase, so we have expanded and enhanced some of the supports with our current middle residents to see those numbers go up. So out of those 8 cohorts, there's a 91% average first-year retention rate out of all of those 8 cohorts. There's an 80% average second-year retention rate for the cohorts who have taught at least 2 years. At this time, we have 3 Lipscomb cohorts who have taught long enough to have fulfilled their teaching obligation. 90% of those 3 cohorts have fulfilled their contractual teaching obligations, and 74% of those original cohorts are still teaching beyond their contractual obligation. We utilize a cohort model with our teacher residents. That means they start and end the program together. This begins with employee onboarding to program orientation, the signing event. They take all their classes together. They're getting all their professional learning together for that on-the-job training and all of the events that lead up to graduation. This cohort model is very important because this is a rigorous program and the residents can rely on each other for support. This also allows my team to provide the best differentiated supports for the cohorts based on their need. And as we're continually striving to eliminate and reduce barriers, we provide a variety of supports, such as professional development for our residents and their mentors, support with university academics, such as with recitation and tutoring support, licensure requirements, supports and resources for their praxis assessments and EdTPA. We provide on-the-job training support to help them achieve their teacher competencies. And we also provide professional coaching for mentors and residents. And as we are continuously striving to improve, we collect a series of data. We have quarterly competency observation tracker. Our mentors all observe their residents on a quarterly basis regarding mastery of their competencies. We receive that data, we analyze that data to see if any individual teacher residents need additional support or if there's any trends as a whole. We utilize university coursework grades, past praxis and EdTPA results. We conduct site visits and gather data through walkthroughs and full observations. We utilize professional development surveys, feedback from mentors and TRs, as well as team LOE data that I shared earlier. And using that data, we have enhanced and expanded multiple supports this year that I'd like to share with you. We have increased our differentiated professional development for teacher residents and their mentors. We've created a more thorough handbook for TRs and their mentors. We've increased our site visits 50% or more to provide additional support and feedback. We've provided individual middle school supports. We've worked with the middle school director and curriculum director to revamp the competencies for middle school teachers or residents, and we're also conducting full observations of co-teaching to calibrate feedback with those mentors. We're in the process of refining the teacher-resident job description, as well as the multi-classroom leader job description and selection process. We've worked closely with our communications department to expand our social media outreach and improve our webpage inquiry link. This year, we've received more than double the inquiries than we typically do. But the one thing I'm most excited about is the earlier and more strategic praxis supports we've provided. Those of you who've been with us, you know that praxis is a beast when it comes to licensure. That is a national issue. The data I'm going to share with you applies to our third-year cohort who will graduate in August, and they are currently taking their praxis tests. These are elementary teacher residents. They have 6 praxis assessments they have to pass. At this time, they should have completed 4 of those praxis assessments. At this time, 82% of the required tests have been passed. That is a 35% increase from previous cohorts at this time of year. We have an 82% first attempt pass rate. The national first attempt pass rate is around 50%. That is a 12% increase from cohorts we've seen before. Plus, these residents have completed more assessments, so that number means a lot. 87% of our current teacher residents are on track for licensure based on having passed the praxis assessments they should have at this point. That's a 56% increase from what we've seen in the past. So we're excited to continue those supports and see what else we can add to, because we want that number to become 100%. I also wanted to share that while we provide praxis support sessions after hours to support our teacher residents, we've opened up these sessions to any teacher in the district on a permit that needs these assessments. We've even expanded some of the offerings to courses beyond what our residents need because of the need in the district. And in conclusion, I want to share that over 15,000 students have been served by teachers who were Clarksville-Montgomery County School System teacher residents. Thank you. Any questions? All right, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Must have been a really good report. Next item is board discussion and consideration of review of policy governance or modify. I think Mr. Mabry is asked to speak on that before we put a motion on the floor.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'm asking that we push that one more month. After reviewing the language that we have drafted, I feel like it needs a little more tweaking before presenting to the board. So if we could put that on next month's agenda. Thank you.
Okay. Then we'll move that item with no action tonight and move it forward to the January meeting. Next item is comments by Fort Campbell School Liaison Officer.
Good evening, Dr. Lunavetta, the board, and the commissioners. My name is Karen Watkins-Joof. I'm the school liaison officer from Fort Campbell, and there are 2 of us. My counterpart is LaQuivia Garrett. Ms. LaQuivia and I are in the process of planning the annual START meeting, which stands for Student Transition Response Team meeting. It's to be held in February. This meeting will present an opportunity for our director of schools and surrounding superintendents of counties that we serve to collaborate and share with our garrison what's working well within their districts, as well as the challenges encountered concerning the military-connected youth. We look forward to being of service in the coming year, and happy holidays from the Fort Campbell Garrison.
CMCEA representative.
Good evening. As the semester draws to a close, we are here today to extend our appreciation for a successful fall semester. Like you, we are definitely ready for the holiday break. Our students have worked hard, and so have your teachers. The Tennessee General Assembly will convene in Nashville in January. We all know that they will consider legislation that will directly impact our students, our educators, and our district. No one understands the needs of our students better than those of us here in the district, for no one is as vested as we are. We already knew that we had a great school district, or that we have, a great school system, even before the state released the impressive gains that CMCSS educators and students achieved this past school year. We are very supportive of public education and strongly oppose anything that would reduce the efficacy of educating all Tennessee students, especially removing much-needed funding. Please know that the CMCEA is a willing partner in advocating for strong public education resources for our students and educators, and happy to discuss with you at any time how legislation, especially voucher legislation, considered in Nashville will negatively impact our school district. CMCA wishes you a joyous holiday season. May the positive spirit we feel right now continue throughout the new year and the upcoming legislative session as we work cooperatively together toward our shared priority of making our community the best place in which to live, teach, and learn. Thank you.
PET representative.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Luna Vetter. Yes, we're all looking forward to that countdown Thursday, half day. But anyway, we'd like to share with you that Professional Educators of Tennessee, we have several bills, education bills that we're working on for the January session. And I appreciate Mr. Patton's information about all of our celebratory things that we need to think about for this district. We've worked hard. And I can say that because I've been in this district for many, many years. But there's always room for improvement. And I'd like to keep, the last few days before Christmas break, you have to be creative. You have to think of things that are interesting enough but informative enough to keep your kids engaged so that they'll enjoy the day. So today, I asked my fifth graders if they had the opportunity to buy school board members Christmas presents, what would they give them? Now, a piece of history, education. I showed them all your pictures, so don't be surprised if you get some, hello on the street, because now they know who you are. I told them what the school board members do and how important it is that they work together to provide things for our district. So this is what they came up with. I just went in alphabetical order, so Miss Berry, you were first. They decided that you needed a Merry Christmas cup and a Santa cup or a gnome, a Merry Christmas gnome. Okay. Miss Bryant, they decided that you needed either a Christmas cake, an essential oil diffuser, or a bouncy chair. Mr. Nelson, they decided you needed a Christmas pillow and a Christmas hat, a new blanket, and basketball hoops. Because I did tell them that you were rather tall, so I guess that's where they got that idea. Mr. Griffey, they decided you needed a Christmas chair, lotion, and slippers. Mr. Garland, they came up with a Christmas tree for you, and they said you needed Grinch slippers, a motorcycle, and helmet like the Grinch has. I don't know why. I don't know. But anyway, they also ended with an American flag. They wanted to give you an American flag. Mr. Lanier, I gave them a little bit of background history on all of you, so I told them what your business was, what you did. So they decided you needed a drone-controlled seed planter, a weed whacker, and some fruit trees to plant. And Mr. Mayberry, I have to apologize ahead of time because they heard the last part of your name and they just ran with it. They decided you needed blackberries, strawberries, and blueberries. And also I told them about your vocation, what you do, and they decided you needed a cross necklace and an inflatable Jesus. And lastly, our director, they decided, and I decided, you needed lots of chocolate. So, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and fabulous rest and holiday, and thank you so much.
Next item, comments by county commissioners. Can y'all top that?
I don't know that we can top that. That was pretty good. I just have a brief comment here. Just wanted to briefly address, we've definitely got some traffic issues at some of our schools. I know you all are aware of that. And I just want to encourage the school system and this body just to continue to work with our highway department. We did give the highway department more resources this year in the budget to buy equipment and hire employees so that they can help us with some of these projects within the system and at some of our other county departments. So, I just really would encourage y'all to look at that. I know Woodlawn, we've definitely got some traffic issues out there, and I think there's maybe some creative things we can come up with. I appreciate Mr. Griffey coming out with me to observe that one time, and we've got, the right of way on Woodlawn Road and Old Dover Road blocked for an hour during pickup and drop off. So anything we can do to alleviate that, make things safer for the buses coming and going, the children and parents coming and going, and just general traffic would be really helpful, and I'm happy to help however I can. And beyond that, just want to say Merry Christmas to y'all from the County Commissioners. Thank you so much.
Comments by board members? Ms. Bryant.
I'm just excited I figured out the button. First, I want to thank those that came in and spoke. I know that takes a lot of courage, and I believe that helps with accountability and transparency. So thank you guys for coming in. I spoke with Dr. Luna Vetter about getting information about the progress the district has made in regards to behavioral issues, and I'd also like to get some additional information on IEPs and 504s as far as statistics and where we stand with numbers compared to other districts. I get a lot of calls and emails regarding these two things, and I think it would just be great for the public to get some information on where we stand as a district. Thank you.
Mr. Garland.
I would just like to thank the presenters for the information for the teacher residency because I was here when it started. I guess I've been here a long time. If I look down, it's because I am. I found out last week that my sister has cancer. So if you look up here and you don't see me sitting here, I'll probably be in North Carolina. It's just a matter of when, of what, but right now she's doing okay. But the bottom line is it hurt me to my heart that I couldn't be there with her when she found out. But I sit here as a board member and I think about what I read in the paper a few days ago. The governor asked us to trust him. To trust him. To trust him. And I would like to expand on the trust. Trust is something that a person, if you accept that trust, then you believe in what they tell you. He's asking us to trust him in trying to take money from our school system to put it into a fund base that would help pay for people who are already sending our kids to private schools. He's asking us to trust him in building 50 charter schools when he only is allowing $50 million for the whole project. As the county commission knows, and as the school board members knows, and as the staff knows, it costs more than $100 million just to build the building. So my question to him is, if you want me to trust you, Mr. Governor, tell me the truth. Be honest with me. Be upfront. Be transparent. And if you do that, I believe that the people will look at what you're saying and say that you got to be out of your mind, because the county commission cannot afford to fund two separate school systems here in Montgomery County, nor the other 94 counties across the state. And I thank the people in public education that comes every month to sit in and to encourage us to stick with public schools, because that's all I know, y'all. From college to my lower level grades. That's all I know. And as long as I'm sitting up here on this roster, I'm going to be for public schools. Public schools. Because that has gotten me to where I am today. And it's going to take me on to glory one day as a person that actually graduated 1K through 12 in the public arena. So, Dr. Luna, thank you and your staff for the work that you do. And I would like to thank the teachers for the work that you do. And make sure that you tell the students that we appreciate them putting us on top. The students put us on top. It's not me, it's not Dr. Luna, it's not anyone else, because no matter who coaches them, it's the students that actually have to apply the knowledge that they receive from those teachers that are in the classroom. Thank you, Dr. Bloom.
Mr. Nelson.
Amen. Good evening, everyone. So we're at the point again where we've had another school shooting, and as we go into the season, let's take a moment to remember those who were killed and those who were injured and what these schools are going through. Take a moment to thank our SROs for being in the schools and looking after our children, and thank Dr. Lunavetta for her continually working with the chief of police and the sheriff to keep our schools safe. Let's just all take a moment out during this season to remember those who are suffering right now and in bereavement. Thank you.
Any other comments by board members? Mine will be short. Just want to wish everyone a very happy holiday season, and thank you for all the work that you've done for our children. Both county commissioners, staff, teachers, Norm's complex, the entire system of Clarksville-Montgomery County school system. And I want to comment on Norm's staff today. I was able to eat lunch with them. Great opportunity to mingle and meet, and appreciate the invitation. And didn't know you could cook that well, but enjoyed the time. Director of Schools report.
I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
This meeting's adjourned.